Hello Internet, Zlink here. Today I want to talk to you about crit ratios. Now, whatever I'm saying in this video, you can apply to other DPS such as Child or Beto, and more other DPS might be running. But in this video specifically, I'm going to be talking about our girl Keqing. So what is the crit ratio and how would you calculate yours? Crit ratio is how much crit rate you have in relation to crit damage. To get this ratio, simply divide your crit rate percent and your crit damage percent, and ideally you want to be looking at close to a ratio of 1 crit rate for every 2 crit damage. Now you might be looking at my crit ratio and be saying, Slink, you have lied to me for the last time. Your crit ratios are really off. They're like 0.43 something instead of a 0.5 you said. Well, here's another aspect of the equation that I haven't mentioned yet, and that is called total crit damage percent. To calculate total crit damage percent, you multiply your crit rate percent and your crit damage percent and multiply by 100. So in my case, I have around 159% total crit damage percent on my build, which I consider to be pretty good. And what this number gives you is an idea of how much damage your crit stats give you over time. Generally for Keqing, I like having around 75 to 80% crit rate because I'm always taking the extra 15% crit rate from Keqing's Q into consideration, even though I don't use it too often. I also want to touch on something really important, and that is don't overinvest into crit damage over your crit rate. I know the big numbers seem really attractive, and sure, your build might be doing more damage when you do crit, but if your crit ratio isn't high enough, you're going to be losing out on the consistency of the crits, and therefore you're going to be doing less damage over time. It's hard to evaluate consistency since it's something you get a feel for over time, and not something you can easily observe with damage numbers. To help put this into perspective for you, I will be timing how long it takes to kill a level 91 Rearing Guard with my standard build, which is this build right here, running Thunder Super, in comparison to running this 235% crit damage build, also running Thunder Super, but with only 55% crit rate. Now, I won't be using my Q at all, because I would just want to display the numbers with a raw crit stats. I don't want any overinflation of any numbers. I will also be doing this test with a level 90 out of 90 Primary J Cutter, Constellation of 0, and 1066 for my talents. Alright, I got the test done, so here we go. So I hope you can see why I never show builds with imbalanced crit ratios on my channel. Beside with a 235% crit damage does get higher numbers but struggles in terms of consistency. It took so long to kill the Running Guard that I ran out of stamina twice instead of once, like the balanced crit ratio side. I actually do have this circlet that gives more crit damage as its substat, but actually does worse damage than the circlet shown in the balance build of this video, solely due to the attack stat. I'm not going to get into it too much, but there's another thing called total attack percent. To calculate this, take your green damage and divide it by your base attack and multiply by 100%. The greater you are above 100%, the better attack ratio is. So ideally, you don't want to give up too much attack while maintaining as much crit as you can, but in my opinion, I would suggest you focus on getting good crit substats first, then worry about min-maxing your attack later. Now, I have learned all that I know on how to build Keqing not only from experience, but also from the Keqing main subreddit. There's a doc that I will be linking in the description of this video that I highly recommend you to give a full read. But anyways, that'll be all for this Keqing guide video. I hope you found this video to be insightful. If you did, drop a like. Follow my Twitch. I just hit affiliate and I'm just waiting for Twitch to approve my forms, so Keqing emotes are incoming to my Twitch channel. And take care everyone. I'll see you all in my next video.